Thanks for joining us for the Prompt Patient Payments webinar with PrognoCIS and Integrity Payment Systems. Today we've got a webinar that's being hosted by PrognoCIS with our partner Integrity Payment Systems. PrognoCIS, more than great EHR, we offer a variety of services to go along with our electronic health record software, and Integrity Pays is a good partner of ours, helping medical practices make business even better. Today on our webinar, we are going to be in the company of subject matter experts David Chapman, who is the Senior VP of Business Development at Integrity Payment Systems. Good morning, David.
Good morning, James.
And we've also got Doug Furquette, the Director of Partner Management from Integrity Payment Systems. Good morning, Doug.
Morning, James.
And I'm James Metzger, VP of Marketing here at Bizmatics, the purveyors of PrognoCIS EHR. So our agenda today is going to be an introduction to the Integrity Payment Systems payment values and learning about integrity, as well as integrity programs and the benefits to the medical practice that integrity can bring along for your medical practice. So I believe Doug is going to be speaking a little bit to, or it might be Dave, speaking a little bit about Integrity Payment Systems. Gentlemen, if you could do the honors of giving us a little background about Integrity Payment.
Yeah, this is Dave. So Integrity Payment Systems is based in Des Plaines, Illinois. We are what we refer to as a boutique shop. What we mean by that is that we handle all of the services that a payment provider should be handling internally ourselves. We've got over 100 employees and have serviced more than 50,000 merchants, and you know, have been in the industry, like I said, for a long time. Our combined senior management has greater than 100 years in processing experience. We focus on both working directly with merchants, and we also work directly with our partnerships, such as the relationship we have with PrognoCIS.
That's great. You're in every state, Dave. PrognoCIS is in every state too, so it's nice to know we've got coverage nationwide for all of our membership with Integrity Payment. A little bit further about Integrity Payment Systems. One thing that's important to PrognoCIS and in the medical business in general are the values of the companies we work with. Could you expand a little bit more on Integrity Payment Systems and their values?
Yes, and actually integrity is in our name. And so, you know, our values, look, the relationship with our customers is critical to us. We are going to be honest and ethical. You know, again, integrity is in our name, and that's what we're all about. We value the relationships that we have, both with our customers, our business partners, our employees. Again, part of the reason that we refer to ourselves as a boutique shop and handling everything internally is because we know that we're going to be able to provide the highest level of customer service to our customer base. And again, that involves, you know, being responsive. It involves making sure that, again, settlement dollars are managed appropriately, so that you know, that all merchants or practices are receiving their money in a timely manner. So we keep everything in-house, and again, we value work. We value you know, the pleasant work environment for both our employees, and we believe that presents itself to our customer base also. And obviously then we value results. We believe that all of these individual pieces come together and essentially equal success for both our partners, our merchants, and ourselves.
Well, I know I've enjoyed all of our business interactions, and I know that when we've had an issue with anything, that you guys have been so responsive. So I really enjoy working with you as a partner with Integrity Payment Systems overall. And I know that you do provide a broad swath of services. Is there anything that you don't do for payment systems? Is what I wonder. Across the whole board, if you could just run down all the different ways you could help out our medical providers, that'd be great.
Yeah, so again, everything's in shop. You know, the underwriting process itself, the activation of accounts, you know, from the very beginning, everything is handled directly by us. We're not relying on some third party to provide those services to us. I like to say, you know, we're handling things soup to nuts. We are involved and are critical as a part of the underwriting process all the way to the settlement, which is the passing of the funds directly back to the merchant after the cards have processed and so forth. We have in-house technical support. We deploy all of the equipment ourselves. Again, underwriting is in-house. Because we have the ability because we manage everything ourselves, we have the ability to do something called split funding, which we'll get into in a little bit. Again, we have our own gateway, and we manage chargebacks and retrievals. You know, as you said, it's basically everything being controlled by us allows us to provide that higher level of service.
So when you say hardware, what kind of hardware would we maybe be talking about with the payment system gateway?
So the swiper that is used is a USB swiper, and that is something that is going to be deployed by us. So as you call in and you speak with our VIP team, they will work with you on getting your account set up, and then at the same time also ensure that in a very timely manner that you're going to be shipped the swiper that is going to connect into your USB device to allow for the swiping of transactions.
Wow, you guys really do handle everything end to end, from the desktop swipe to the payment delivery. I love it. Nice to know that one phone call can get anything taken care of end to end. So you mentioned process, and for those who aren't so familiar with the process of a payment gateway, maybe we could go through the slide and describe from the doctor through the transaction. What's all happening here? What is this process?
Yeah, thanks, James. This is Doug. The slide that we have up here today is essentially just a high-level overview of the end-to-end patient payment process within PrognoCIS. So this basically kind of identifies everything that's happening from initiation with the practice all the way to behind the scenes. So the practice initiates a credit card payment, and the credit card payment is securely passed to our payment gateway solution that Dave covered in the previous slide. And then behind the scenes, Integrity is actually approving that transaction and then settling and depositing the funds to the specific practice. So this slide kind of gives you a high-level overview of kind of all the moving parts that happen when you actually process a payment on behalf of a patient.
So the doctor here is the front office admin is in the middle of a conversation with the patient, maybe about accepting a copay, and they're in PrognoCIS, and this little PrognoCIS logo with the screenshot there highlighting the $sign, that button gets clicked, and then we get into the Integrity process for that payment. Looks pretty simple, and it seems like this this screen here with the payment system process, this is part of that transaction and process flow. When the $ button gets teed up, then we've got the ability to credit the payment to different accounts. So I can have multiple different accounts set up that I can send funds to. And here we have a standard credit card process screen. So I think one of the values here with the integrated software is that I've got the ability to save patient information and patient payment information in the Integrity system. Is that about right, Doug?
That's exactly right. And I think the other thing to point out, James, for the practice is that, you know, with this integration, there's really nothing that the practice has to do to wake up that particular swiper or reader. You'll see a nice little green light on that device, and that means it's pretty much ready to go. And part of the integration is to kind of eliminate that and save on workflow and eliminate the actual programming or initiating of that particular swiper. So simplicity is kind of the goal with this entire integration.
So it sounds like we're able to have a smoother transaction at the front office between the patient and the person taking payments. If they're a frequent flyer, we can just bring up their saved information, or even just swiping it in auto-populates quite a bit of this information. So here we've got further dive into the credit card on file, like you were mentioning. So it seems that the integrated payment system is really the way to go if I want to have a smooth operation at my front desk.
Right. The goal is really to eliminate that friction between the practice and the patient. And this card on file technology, you know, even by saving just a few seconds can make that a much smoother process.
So in terms of things like security and compliance, Integrity has been doing this forever, so they've got all that completely dialed at this point, right?
Yeah, this is Dave. That would be absolutely correct. One other point that I'd like to bring up in terms of the efficiencies of the integration is that what we're doing is we're also automatically posting the results into the patient here, which is really reducing workflow time, reducing the risk of losing, credit card receipts and not getting transactions posted into the patient ledger. I like to refer to it as, there's been automated remittance for years on the insurance side of payments, and now with the integration here with the patient side, now patient payments can be automated to the point of you swipe a card, the transaction is accepted, and those dollars for that payment automatically post into the patient's ledger. So that's one of the value propositions. Another value proposition is the card on file. If you can go, James, to the next screen. Nope.
There we go.
Actually, 2 screens forward.
No, I might be missing that screenshot there, Dave.
No, there's I wanted to go back to the screen. Actually, so, and again, where the card on file is allowing for recurring payments to take place, which will allow you to, again, have that information as the patient is coming in to be seen. It also will allow for any kind of recurring transactions. If there is a larger balance, that balance can then be collected in individual payments because that card is being saved.
Got it. So that all happens in the integrated installation of Integrity Payment Systems within the EHR, and this all happens so I don't have to move around screens or find different applications. I can stay right in the EHR browser-based transaction, and I get all of this value out of having information saved about the patient's credit card information. So I get that. Yeah.
Also,
then, go ahead.
From a security perspective, I just want to make sure that we speak to the fact that we are PCI DSS compliant. So what does that mean? Essentially, we are conforming to the industry requirements. PCI DSS is essentially the payment industry's equivalent to HIPAA. So it is a completely secure solution that where the card data is not being stored within the PrognoCIS system, it's being stored within Integrity's system. And the final value prop for that is that there's no cost for the integration. So, the only cost that are being incurred is the standard merchant fees that you're paying already. And that being said, what we'll do is we will assess those, your existing statements, and do our best to beat the prices that your existing merchant provider has given you.
That's great. There's probably nothing people are going to complain about with the more competitive rate for processing. So we appreciate that. So a little bit more about Integrity Payment Systems in terms of being our payment partner. It seems that you're bringing a little bit more to the table than just moving funding around. If you could elaborate a little bit more on the additional value Integrity Payment brings, even for those competitive rates.
Yeah, thanks, James. This is Doug again. We'll discuss some of the value adds that working with Integrity can provide to a practice utilizing the payment integration with PrognoCIS. As Dave mentioned, we like to consider ourselves a boutique shop that can guide you through the payments best practices, touching on PCI from a security standpoint, as we previously discussed, one-on-one support with one phone number to dial for the practice. That's a major component of our ongoing success. The fact that we can point you to one shop to reach out to for all your needs really kind of rings true with the practices that we're working with today. One of the other things we'll talk about in an upcoming slide is Integrity Insights. That is our marketing analytics program. Like I said, we'll cover that in greater detail in the next few slides. And then kind of the last point here, reducing your PCI scope and the white glove treatment. This kind of makes your practice feel less like a number, more like you're part of the actual program that we put together with PrognoCIS.
Well, I'm looking forward to learning more about the Integrity Insights when we get there. And the PCI scope, I'm also curious about that. So we'll look forward to that in the next couple slides. Billing and statements. Doug, I got to think that billing and statements isn't the piece that people would get most excited about, but if you could present that in an easy to understand way, maybe that's a little extra value. How does this work for Integrity Payment Systems?
I will do my best with that. So the billing and statement, since Integrity handles the settlement of the actual funds to the practice, we have a unique ability to route funds to alternate destinations. So you'll see up on the slide here, we've helped practices and businesses of all types actually send money through our Easy Pay program to pay for things like rent or equipment leases or even something personal for that practice. So we have that flexibility. It's something that we like to offer to practices. It gives them the option of actually routing funds to something that would help them sort of alleviate that check writing process. The practice can utilize our Easy Pay program to route funds to pay for the various different things we discussed, or even to a savings account similar to like an HSA account that a practice would be familiar with.
So I'm the practice administrator. I know I've got to pay rent for the office every month, and I know I'm going to take in more in credit card payments a month than that rent. I could have those funds diverted from Integrity Pays into this account and then they can just go straight to my office landlord? Is that how that works?
That's exactly right, James. So the practice would contract with us and say, for example, that they want to take 5% of the credit card process, and they want that money sent to their landlord. They would obviously have to provide, the routing account number to that particular landlord, and we would send that money on behalf of the practice to the landlord. So there's, of course, reporting that's included with this for the practice, so they can see exactly what is being passed to the landlord, so that when the rent time comes, the majority of that money has been collected, and it becomes a much more comfortable process.
It sounds like that would save a lot of time in monthly bookkeeping and probably help out quite a bit at the end of the year, too. So being that we're into tax season here, I can see that would be a big benefit for keeping those records all in one place.
Absolutely.
So this online practice portal, more value add from Integrity Pays. I'm amazed that so much can come from a payment system that you're so helpful with the practices in doing so much more than just managing funds. What's available to me through this practice portal, Doug?
Right. So great point, James. And we've learned over time, what practices are looking for. Our online portal is provided, as you mentioned, at no cost to every practice using the PrognoCIS payment integration with Integrity. This is sort of your self-service tool to basically get a glance of what you've been processing. Potentially, as we talked about with EasyPay, if you're enrolled in that product, it can give you visibility into where funds are being routed to and what amount is being routed. This portal provides an extensive amount of information relating to the payments processed by the practice and also additional value adds. One of the other things that comes with our portal at no cost is a program we're excited about. It's called InTouch. And this is a free push notification system that can send via email or text notifications on a number of different data points for practices. This is designed for practices that don't want to have to actually log into this tool on a daily or hourly basis. They can get information like what was the total amounts that we processed for the day, pushed to them in a text or an email notification, and this can be to a number of different people at the practice. So essentially, it's a kind of a self-serve option with the portal, and then with InTouch, this information can be pushed to you based on your preference.
That's nice. I run a lot of reports for different things with what I do, and the applications that I use that can send me information once I get those set up, I really appreciate that. So I can imagine with the doctor's office, if they could get dialed in with Integrity and have the right information coming to them to help them manage on a daily basis, that's certainly a huge value add. And even further, here we've got this Integrity Insights marketing piece. So Integrity Payments is not only helping with managing the day-to-day business with these push notifications, but beyond that, it looks like you're helping to grow business. What is this Insights marketing piece, Doug?
Yeah, so Integrity Insights is our marketing analytics platform. So this program essentially is a collection of online tools offered to practices to assist with anything from online reviews, social media management, local listings, automated updates. It encompasses a number of different programs within Insights. So if practice has a marketing budget and they don't know how to allocate funds to specific marketing programs, Integrity Insights is a no-contract option that allows a practice to learn and try different aspects. So if you have a marketing budget and you're pointing it to something that you're potentially not too satisfied with or you'd like to try something new, that's kind of the goal of this program. If you have questions regarding the specifics of Integrity Insights, we have experts available to talk you through the various services available and kind of educate you on what the different options are. The screenshot that James just pulled up is basically a snapshot of the portal, and this gives you kind of an overview of some of the different modules and the dashboards and widgets that come along with Integrity Insights. So this is integrated with the free portal, and this comes along to give you information about the various different programs you use within Integrity Insights.
This, as a marketing person, this is right up my alley, Doug. I can see here, just looking at these screenshots, a lot of valuable information that is actionable. So if I'm trying to grow my footprint in a local area, and I can see what my practice's score might be for working with online marketing tools like Google Plus or a local business, and then getting feedback about the number of visitors as I run local advertising campaigns. Maybe I send out a postcard to some folks to make them aware of the practice. I can see how this kind of marketing feedback loop could really help a practice out. The insight that it gives you, so appropriately named, I can see really being a way to help grow a business. So this is, I think, I'm biased as a marketing person, but as any business owner or office administrator trying to grow a practice might think, for a payment system to be able to include these additional value add tools, I just look at that as a huge win. So for getting people going on Integrity Pays, if they are working with a different payment gateway now, there's some things that we've got going on that we can help people with their transition. Looks like we're waiving setup fees for now, so thank you so much for that, Integrity Pays. And the first card swiper is free, so there you go with the hardware. These promotional bonuses, to take advantage of these great offers, all we have to do is have the folks on the webinar, or if you're listening later on the archive, we've got a permanent web page set up for our membership to let us know that they're looking into getting Integrity payment systems integrated to PrognoCIS. So we're going to send these slides out to the attendees later on. So all they have to do is dial up that website, fill out that form, and they can let us know that they're ready to get going with Integrity payment systems. So one thing I know is that there's a few frequently asked questions when it comes to getting a new service or a new module installed with PrognoCIS. So in terms of setup, Doug, what can you tell us about the setup process, or Dave, whoever wants to field the setup and how that gets going with a PrognoCIS customer?
So the setup process is quite simple. And what you would do is you would start by going to that website and putting your interest in. In terms of the next step, you'll be reached out by one of our VIP team members who will talk to you about what your existing needs are and so forth from a merchant services perspective. And then we will handle all of the setup in the background in terms of providing the information that needs to be loaded into the system and so forth. That all is handled between Integrity and PrognoCIS.
So the PrognoCIS member goes up, fills out the form, and then basically we hold them through the entire process. Is that about right?
That would be correct.
And in terms of saving time for a practice, for an office admin, with all these different tools that Integrity Payment Systems is bringing to the table beyond just processing the transaction, with an integration between the EHR and the payment system, not having to open up separate applications, getting push notifications sent to me, having patient payment on file, is it even possible to quantify how much time we might save a practice in the course of a year? Any guess?
I don't have a guess as to how much time that is. I can tell you that from an efficiencies perspective, it's quite positive. Again, when you're looking at the whole concept of being able to take a card, swipe a card, and have those results move automatically into the PrognoCIS EHR, you're not only talking about efficiencies, but you're talking about again, the elimination of lost data, that type of thing. And then additionally, when you look at the card on file and the fact that the patient's card information can be retained and utilized for future visits, that's greatly reducing the collection process moving forward.
It sounds like it'd make a great impression on patients also to be so organized at practice. So beyond the integration of the payment systems into the EHR, is there anything else that we're leaving out? It sounds already like there's more value than could possibly be put all together in one package, but is there anything that we haven't brought up yet?
Yeah, I'll take that one, James. This is Doug. So in addition to the integration and saving time and improving workflow, as Dave mentioned, a quick recap of kind of what we highlighted. Because of our settlement capabilities, easy pay, routing funds to a potential landlord or to pay a bill, that's one of the many. And Integrity Insights, as we touched on, is sort of the value add that all practices can take advantage of to help with their marketing programs, or at least test the waters with a marketing program if they're not doing that today.
It sounds like just an awesome package for our practices to get Integrity Payment Systems integrated with PrognoCIS. So want to thank you both, Dave and Doug. I really appreciate it. I enjoy our partnership immensely. I know it's a tremendous value for PrognoCIS members to have all of the different tools that Integrity is bringing to the table for us. For folks in the webinar that want to reach out to PrognoCIS directly, if you're interested in moving beyond using PrognoCIS EHR and having the PrognoCIS folks handle basically all of your billing needs, we also have RCM services, revenue cycle management, so we can manage everything as far as billing goes, all the way through collections now, should that be necessary. We've got our sales contact there if you want to reach out to your reps. That's available, and as we said before, we have a page dedicated to folks letting us know that they're interested in getting an Integrity Payment Systems integration set up for their instance of PrognoCIS. All you need to do is go to that website, prognocis.com/online-payment, and you'll see a form there. You fill out that form, and we will hold your hand the entire way through the process of getting set up with an Integrity Payment Systems integration with PrognoCIS. So, and we also have the Integrity VIP number down as well. So if you want to contact Integrity directly, you're more than welcome to do so. So thanks for your attendance today. Dave and Doug, again, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate all the information that you've been able to provide for all these value-add services. And I'm just going to wish everyone a wonderful rest of your day. And we look forward to helping your practice grow and flourish with additional services and applications from Integrity Payment Systems. So thank you and good morning, and we'll see you again for our next webinar.